In one of my recent games, my offlaner left the lane at 7 minutes, and I, as a support, suddenly became the core. 3 minutes later, I was completely different hero and it changed the entire game. That's the power of adaptation, and today I want to show you how to use it in your own games. Playing support is all about adapting to the situation. You have 4 other players that have their own plan for the game, while you still need to keep enemy heroes in mind. If you play carry, your plan is more or less the same, depending on the game. You will hit creeps, get a timing and hope for the best. Playing support, however, this can change from game to game. And I know it best. Right now I'm flat 10k MMR, and that means I get games against both unranked players and then ranked 1000 players, or even better sometimes. In fact, my last 2 games were exactly that. One game I'm the captain, so literally the highest MMR in the game, and the other one I'm the lowest ranked player. That means in between games, the average MMR has changed about 2000 MMR, and when we account the difference of lowest ranked player in one and the highest ranked player in the another one, it's over 3000 MMR. That's about the difference between a legend player and immortal player. And why am I telling you this? As a support, you have to learn how to adapt. I had a coaching session with a student that struggled in a game. We had some sessions before, and while he had a very good start, he struggled with how his cores played the game. He gave them a good start, however, still went for support items as Furion, while his cores couldn't finish the game. This is my Pagna game in lower MMR lobby. At some point, for some reason, my LC TPs mid to get a kill on enemy support. After doing that, for some reason again, he leaves the lane for me, as a Pagna. While this is really weird, it's not the worst outcome for our team. Up until this point, he's got a good start, and I spent a lot to give him a good game. Now, I get the lane to myself, so I can get levels and items while still applying pressure to the tower. Then enemy Furion also decides he doesn't want to lane into me. And at 8 minutes, there's a fight on the bot lane and both of my allies die there. Now, the question is, should I rotate there? Well, I probably would if my LC was on the lane, but he's not. And I'm level 5 with a creep wave and the enemy tower is just there. I could be leaving this and hope that I can help on the bot lane, but on the other hand, I would be giving up on a lot of farm here. And instead of doing this, I just stay top and push the tower. This is way more efficient. And me staying top allowed us to open up the map, and at 10 minutes I'm a completely different character than I used to be 3 minutes earlier. We even managed to kill an enemy carry there, and after a good fight, thanks to my levels, we get another 2 kills. Now, if I went bot around 8 minutes to help my teammates, their game would be slightly better, but generally speaking, percentage wise it was way better for me to stay top and get a guaranteed farm instead of hoping that things work out on the bot lane. Notice how my amount of last hit jumped in the last 3 minutes. The lesson from this game is, do not blindly rotate. Think what's the best for your team, and sometimes this is just you being greedy, as you will pay it back later on. Something that you will notice as higher you go is people being more and more efficient with their time. While Pagna game is a perfect example of me being the most efficient, the next one I was wondering how my position 5 Weaver gets so fat. But looking at this from his perspective, he's got a Pagna 4, a hero that allows you to play another greedy support as he opens up the map. Instead of playing vanilla support, he goes into core items, and our team wins the game eventually as we just have better scaling heroes. And the lesson here is for me. If I got a Weaver as my other support or any other greedy hero, and my hero allows me to, do not be greedy. Go for the team items, like a 4-staff in this game and then Solar Crest, and let my Weaver become the damage dealing greedy support. I showed you 2 examples of me adapting to situation in a game, but now let's see some examples out of different games to understand what else can you do to adapt better into games. Certain heroes have different options. With a hero like a Hoodwink or Furion, you can literally play as core or support, while in other cases, like Clockwork, you can just slightly adapt your item choices for the game. This replay is actually very interesting. Hoodwink laned with Avenge, who was addressed a lot by enemies. He decides to get a Mage Slayer, and I love it. This item works really well against what enemies have, while providing still a lot of what Hoodwink needs. Applying it to a lot of heroes, especially Skyrat, will reduce their damage a lot. Eventually, Hoodwink went for full damage items, and I can't really blame him for that, after seeing Storm playing with no BKB against enemy Skyrat. Due to the nature of the hero, it's quite easy to push lanes with the Squirrel, something that Storm cannot really do without exposing himself. This game is a good example of how to adapt to a situation where your cores are, for whatever the reason is, unable to get the damage done. The fact he's playing such hero allows him to have that choice. Again, as a summary, if your teammate is lacking in his gameplay, or maybe he's not adapting to the situation, be the one that does it. Hoodwink going Mage Slayer as the first item and his Storm not getting a Dispel versus Skyrat is already telling. One is thinking about the game critically while the other doesn't. And this game is the same hero but different situation. He's got a triple core lineup and the last thing they want from him is to become another one. However, they are quite light when it comes to catch, so going Athos is a good idea. That way, he gets to set up his cores better, especially SF, and that's all he needs to do. You can even see that he's staying way behind when it comes to pushing, and there's no need for him to hit the tower. All he has to do is to be there and be ready. As you can see, sometimes you need to look at the bigger picture. Adapt to what your team needs. Sometimes your core will be inefficient and leave a lot of space, while in other games all you need to do is just play behind them. Now, let's go into mentality adaptation. You know that sometimes you feel like you are strong and ready to fight, but your team just wants to farm? Well, here's some things that can help you deal with that situation. First, you need to understand that farming is rarely wrong. There is a reason why better players just get more gold. However, it matters a lot where you farm. This is the game I covered on my channel and the full replay with commentary is showing on the top side. However, the thing I want to show you is how to farm when you're strong. If you are farming on enemy side of the map, that's usually even better than forcing fights into them. As long as they are not farming and you are happy. Trying to force your team into doing things that they don't want to do is counterproductive. However, you can manipulate them into playing in a way that you want. Having good vision around enemy areas will naturally lead your heroes there, both denying enemy farm and possibly leading to having good fights. That way, your teammate is happy as he's farming and you're happy because you aren't letting enemies recover. And one more thing, everyone. You can't win every game. Just accept that. It's not worth losing your sanity just because someone doesn't feel like playing your way. If you accept that fact and you understand it, you will be happier in your games. And what matters is the process of improving, not a single game or two. In the end, if you play the right way, you will win more games. Eventually, you will get better teammates. Believe me, there is progress. You will start noticing it as you climb. You will have other problems, yes, but the moment you stop blaming your teammates is the day when you will become better and happier Dota player. In the end, it's just a game. It's meant to be fun. That's it for today. To see more support content, subscribe to the channel and let me know in the comments what would you like to see next. See you!